He said, pray as you see me pray. Utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah, worship Him, just follow them.
Assalamu alaikum. New class coming to you every Monday and Wednesday, taught by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba, the fiqh of prayer. Every Monday and Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Inshallah, we'll see you there. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? On YouTube, somebody type ASCII. You guys, if y'all can hear me, Pamela. If y'all can hear me, just let me know, because I don't even know if I got people in here, but I don't know if any moderators here paying attention to me. Can y'all hear me on YouTube? Oh, Aisho's there. Okay, good job, Aisho. Okay, hold on for a second. Let me set this up. You know, I get nervous. What's this? I don't know what this is. Nope. There we go. Okay. Inna alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Let me welcome everybody to our new series of how to perform the prayer from A to Z. And by the way, this is the second time that I've taught this series from A to Z. And again, I'm teaching you how to pray in plain, simple English. Okay, so that way you can't, I'm not going to use a lot of Arabic terminology, which I never do anyway. Like Dr. Ali said. How many of you were here for Dr. Ali's class? Like Dr. Ali was telling you guys, Arabic. One Arabic word can mean many different things. Like he told you guys about the term fitna. Fitna does not just mean trials. It does not just mean hardship. It means confusion, all of that. So that's what happens, I think, with a lot of the Muslims in the West and the Arabs too, because believe it or not, the Arabs don't speak Arabic either. They speak slang. We don't really understand the meaning of these terms that we use. Okay, so this class, I will be breaking down how to pray from A to Z in plain, simple English for the English-speaking world, like I've been doing. Okay, so there's no excuse. When those angels come to pull your soul at death, you can't say, oh, I didn't know how to pray correctly because the imam didn't speak English. They're going to ask you, why didn't you listen to Laila Nasheeba? Oh, yeah, she may be a female, but where did I tell you because a person's a female, they don't know this deen? Haven't you heard about Aisha, radiallahu anha, one of the first scholars of Islam? She knew this deen better than most people. Subhanallah. So we have to learn this religion, guys, and we have to learn it correctly. You guys are going to have to come out of this philosophy of thinking that only a man knows the deen, because that's not true. Most of these men are teaching you from a book of methabs, okay? Or they're teaching you from a view of one of their scholars. Very few of these brothers are teaching you directly from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? So we got to get over that. So today, this is the second class. The first class that we had on this topic, we spoke about the importance of the prayer. in Islam. We talked about what happens if you neglect your prayers, if you abandon the prayer. Well, today we're going to go into the times of the prayers. Each prayer has a specific time. And today I'm going to go over the times of the 5 prayers. But before I begin, I'm going to do this class a little differently. I'm going to give you a quiz. And what I will do in this class is I will quiz you in the beginning of the class instead of the end like I usually do. I'm going to quiz you in the beginning to review what we discussed the last time we met. So that way to make sure that you remember it. Everybody understand that? Okay, and again, everything I'm teaching is directly from the hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad. I'm not using Sheikh El-Bani's book. Oh no! May Allah bless him, forgive him of his sins. I ain't using no Imam Malik or any Method book. Oh no! I'm using the hadiths from the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mostly Bukhari and Muslim. And I will give the sources. Okay, I see somebody has a hand raised in my Zoom room. Somebody got a question in the Zoom room? Is anybody in the Zoom room?
That's your hand.
That's my hand? How do I got my hand raised up? Can y'all unraise it? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, look who's here. The sisters from the Emirates. And there's my DNA cousins. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I'm silly. I'm very kooky. Y'all don't know. I'm a kooky person. Maybe it's in the genes. I'm very kooky, quirky, silly. I like to laugh. I put on that intimidating exterior, but I love to laugh. Laughter, like Ali said, laughter keeps the heart soft. And we need to soften our hearts. I have to crack myself up every now and then. Okay, so that was my hand. They took it down. How did I put my hand up anyway? Did y'all see it? It was up like that. Okay, but anyway, let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen so we can get right to this quiz. I want everybody to pay attention, brothers too. I got the new shahadas here. Where the new brothers at? Where's brother? What's his name, y'all? My new shahada that's been coming in here to learn. What's his name? He was here the other day. My mind went blank because I'm just now drinking some real coffee. Thanks to my twin, one of my students, she sent me some real coffee to drink. And I'm telling y'all see it's waking me up. It's real caffeine. I drink decaf, but at home, real caffeine now. Edward, he's here, but the other one, meaning the one that told me that he only wanted to learn from me because I break it down in English. Where is he at? Is he here? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Are you here, brother? What's his name, Santisa? Yeah, Omar too. Where's Omar? Omar and the other brother. Edward's here. I see Edward. Where's Omar and the other brother who's a new shahada? That Jabril, the brother Jabril. That's his name. Yeah, Jabril. Where is he at? I don't see him in here. Okay, we're going to go over the times of the prayer. Hopefully they'll join in. Okay, but let me put the PowerPoint up. Give me a second. I want these brothers to answer the question too. My new shahadas. I want to see these answers. Okay. And it's just 3 questions. I'm going to start off with 3 questions, and then I'll go to my lecture with you. Okay, so today we're going to cover the times of the prayer, taken directly from the authentic hadiths. Most of these hadiths I'll be using today are from Bukhari and Muslim, but I got some from Tirmidhi, Nasai, and all that too. But anyway, let's look at the quiz. This is from last week. First questions. As Muslims, we must pray even if we're sick or traveling or at war. Is that statement true or is that statement false? Let me see everybody put an answer now. As Muslims, we must pray even if we're sick, even if we're traveling, and even if we're at war. Is that statement true or false?
True.
Okay, good job. The kids are saying true. Good job, brother Askiz is here. He said true. Khadijah, mashallah. There's my Khadijah. True. Brother Edward, good job. True. Mashallah. This is true. And I want y'all to remember that even if we're sick, Dr. Ali talked about that today. You know, even if you're sick and you can't move, you're on your back, you're paralyzed, we pray in our mind or pray with your eyes. If I can't make a wudu because I'm in a hospital and I can't get out the bed, you know, I can still pray without a wudu. Prayer must be done. It's an obligation. I was looking at a video the other day of the war in Gaza. And one of the people, subhanallah, they were killed right during the time of Dhuhr. It was Dhuhr time. The Muslims were praying Dhuhr when a bomb went off. And do you know those Muslims that were on the ground dying, and many of them had their shahada finger up saying, La ilaha illallah. Some trying, you know, because they knew they were dying, and some of them were still lying on the ground reciting their prayer. I said, that's what you call faith. This one man's legs were blown off and he still was saying, you know, was doing his prayer like this with his head. Subhanallah. That's faith. Prayer is an obligation. And remember the hadith of the Prophet. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the last deed that you do on this planet can determine if you end up in paradise or hell. So here those men and women were blown to pieces. And the last thing he was doing, Allahu Akbar. He was doing this, Simi Allahu liman hamidah, just with a head. The rest of his body was blown off. He was still living, doing prayer. It's a good sign of a good ending. The bomb wasn't, but the fact he was praying was. So yes, we have to pray. It's an obligation. Okay, let's look at the next question. I got two. Okay, this one. I had mixed up which what you call it? Mouse. What about this? Not praying and denying that it is an obligation makes a person a kafir. Is that statement true or is that statement false? To not pray and deny that it's an obligation makes you a kafir. True or false?
True.
Everybody agree? Good job. Good job, Askiz. What about in the website? Now, for the kids who said true, good job, Khadijah. Good job, Edward. What about this, guys? Listen to this question. What if a person doesn't pray out of laziness and he or she knows that they should pray, but they're too weak, too lazy? They don't deny it as an obligation. They're just weak in faith and practice. Is that person considered a kafir?
No, that person's considered no.
What would that person be considered?
Muslim.
Exactly. That's a sinful Muslim. And you guys heard Dr. Ali talk about that too. We have to remember, don't ever refer to another Muslim as kafir because they don't pray. It's only if they deny it. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us we will be divided into three groups on the day of judgment. The forerunners, the people of the right hand, and the sinful Muslims. Who are the forerunners? Who are the people of the right hand? These are the Muslims that won't have to do no time in hell at all. Allah has forgiven them of their sins. The only Muslims that will be in hell are the sinful Muslims. As the prophet said, they will say, we were of those who did not pray. We were of those who did not fast. We were of those who didn't wear hijab. We were of those who didn't grow our beard. They believed in Allah, but they did not fulfill the obligations due to weakness. So we can't say because a person's weak in faith, weak in practice, that they are kafir because they don't pray. I don't want to ever hear any of my students say that. That's what the Kharijites say. No, we got too many hadiths like the one I'm just now explaining to you, where the prophet said, no, the weak of this nation will be in the third category, the sinful Muslims, who they will have to do some time in hell because they did not fulfill their obligations or they committed sins. But they'll eventually be removed through the supplications of others and through the mercy of Allah. So I don't want to hear any of you say because your son doesn't pray, he's a kafir. No. Maybe nobody taught your son the virtues of it. You didn't pray either until you started coming to my classes and learned the virtues of the prayer. Were you a kafir? No, you were misguided. So be careful of that. All right. Okay, next question. Yeah, this is the one. I got two mouses and it's confusing me. What about this? Those Muslims that deny and abandon the prayer. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said they will stand with whom on the day of judgment? Who will they stand with? Who will they be with on the day of judgment? Allah names them. Who did Allah say? For those Muslims who deny that prayer is an obligation and abandon it, who will they be with on the day of judgment? Who can remember? To be honest, Allah gave you the name of three people. Give me the names of one. Good job, Mina. Pharaoh. Pharaoh is one. Any other names y'all remember? Good job, Askiz. Pharaoh is one. Yes, Haman. Good job, Edward. Haman is another. And these were the worst men created. These were Karun. Karun is the other one. Good job, Jamila. These were the ancient Egyptians. Allah left their pyramids, their tombs behind as reminders to us all. These were men who Allah blessed with a lot of money. He gave them all the money and power on earth. But rather than submit to Allah and show their gratitude to Allah, they denied Allah and said that their glory, their money, their fame, walaikum salam, Brother Malik, that all of that was due to themselves. And by the way, that's an example. Like I said, I know my classes, if my classes are important, it don't matter where you are in the world, you'll come. There's Brother Malik. Walaikum salam. May Allah bless you. Aki. Hello. I got Muslims here all the way from Antarctica. In South Africa here too. South Africa's in the house. The Emirates is in the house. Saudi is in the house. By the way, dude, what's up? I got Australia in the house. So anybody that can't take the time to learn this religion the correct way, don't whine to me about people catering to you. You better get up off your rocker and learn this deen. You got to work for paradise. Paradise ain't given to nobody. You got to earn it. You want paradise, you got to struggle for it. Schedule your life around these classes. Don't think that I'm going to schedule my classes around you. Subhanallah. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah, but mashallah, these are brothers who are men whom Allah had gifted with money, power, prestige, and all of that. But instead of them submitting to Allah, they attributed all their wealth, their power to themselves. They're cursed by Allah. They will be in the hellfire. And for those Muslims who abandon the prayer, they will be with them. You will not be standing with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's what we talked about last week. That was the first of this series, our first class. We talked about the importance of the prayer and how as Muslims, we should never abandon it, how we have to spend each, a day of our life fulfilling our obligations. And I want to reiterate. Did you guys hear Dr. Ali reiterate too? Allah does not accept any of our good deeds if we are deliberately, intentionally disobeying him. Just like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. The month of Ramadan. If you fast the month of Ramadan, all your previous sins are forgiven. As long as you are not indulging in major sins. What did Ibn Abbas say that means? Ibn Abbas said that means as long as you are not deliberately, intentionally disobeying Allah. So for you sisters who don't wear hijab, if you're not wearing a hijab, Allah does not accept your prayers. Another hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Allah does not accept the prayer, or Allah does not accept any good deeds from anyone who's deliberately disobeying him. And don't ask me, let me remind you young brothers who don't know the deen, do not, I repeat, do not send me an email asking me to copy and paste to you my hadiths. First of all, they already here on my PowerPoint. Secondly, you're not qualified. You are not qualified. You are not qualified to sit around and argue this religion with other people. You're a convert. You ain't been Muslim but a day. Who do you think you are? And we talked about enjoining good and forbidding evil. In order to enjoy the good, you have to, first of all, meet the criteria. Number one, you have to have the correct belief system. Number two, you have to know the lawful and the unlawful. You don't even know what La ilaha illallah means. So who do you think you are? Do not use me and my platform to try to get information so that you can go back and argue and debate with other Muslims, because I ain't here for that. And if anybody that knows their religion, you wouldn't ask me to show it to you. If you're a person of knowledge, you would know the source, because I give the source. I already done told you, Bukhari and Muslim. If you don't know where to find it, that's your problem. And I don't even have to give you the source. Technically, if you are a person of knowledge, you should know that hadith. That's a basic. Even Dr. Ali talked about it in his class. You will hear Jamali talk about it. Allah doesn't accept anything from us if we're deliberately, intentionally disobeying him. He doesn't. There's another hadith. He doesn't even accept your supplications if your food and your money is not even from lawful sources. So don't send me emails asking me to show you or give you anything, because the only thing I'm going to give you is a hard time. I keep telling y'all, I'm a female dyer. Female dyers are different than the male dyers. Men have to have patience with you. Allah doesn't require me to have patience with you. Okay? I'm a woman. Women are emotional. You tick me off. You tick me off, I'm going to come at you like a woman comes at a person. And we can get raw. Women can get raw. That patience is for the men, not for me. Okay? Y'all got that, bro? Because I get sick of this. Can you give me your source? No, you go find it. I ain't like these other women. Don't no man disrespect Laila Nasheeba. Hello, I will take my respect. If it's not given to me, I will take it. I'm old school. All right. So, again, guys, be careful of that. I don't want any of you guys thinking that because I don't wear a beard and I'm fornicating, I'm drinking, I'm smoking marijuana, that Allah is accepting my prayers. No, he's not accepting your prayers. No. You got to repent. You got to let go of them intentional sins you doing. How many of you sisters put your hijab on since the last class? You sisters have to dress correctly. Otherwise, none of your good deeds are accepted. Not any. You will be the bankrupt person. That's another hadith. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet said, don't be the bankrupt man. The companion said, who's the bankrupt man? The bankrupt man is the man who will be raised up on the day of judgment and all his good deeds in vain. Okay, don't be the bankrupt man. Don't be the bankrupt woman. Put a hijab on. Otherwise, your prayers and stuff ain't accepted. All right, so this is what we talked about the last time we met for this class. And now today's lecture. Oh, one more question. I forgot. I added this one. I forgot. I'm sorry. My granddaughter called me and told me to add this one. She's been listening. What about this one? We should make our children pray when they reach the age of puberty. Is that statement true or false? What do y'all think about that? Make your children pray when they reach the age of puberty. What do y'all think? My granddaughter.
False. False.
Oh, everybody agree it's false?
Yep.
Okay, good job, Khadijah. Why? Why is it false? Who can explain why?
Prophet said, make the children fast. That's it. When they get to the age of 10, you beat them if you have to.
Y'all agree with her answer? Good job, Mina. Good job. Teach them. The Prophet said, teach them at the age of 7. Make them at the age of 10. Good job on that hadith, Mina. You make them at 10. Don't make them at 7. You teach them at 7. So what does that mean? That you sisters and brothers should be praying with your children. If you're like Dr. Ali was saying today, all this, oh, I think he's too young to fast. I think that he's too young to pray. Your thoughts, what you think don't mean nothing. Allah said, make that boy get up, make wudu, teach him how to make wudu, have him stand up with his father and pray. That little girl that you think is too young, hey, you gonna think she too young when the boys start talking to her when she's 10 too and got a period. Okay, you get that little girl up, teach her how to make wudu, how to put a hijab on and have her stand there and pray with you. If you guys make your children pray with you while they're young, then when puberty hits, it's a part of their life. Like with me. I've been wearing hijab. My mother had me wearing hijab since I was the age of 6. So by the time I was puberty at the age of 9, hijab was part of me. I can't, to this day, I cannot imagine going out the house without a hijab on. I don't even make mistakes like that. The first thing I do is when I wake up is grab my hijab. It's part of me. You see those women in Gaza. How many of you seen any women without a hijab on? Them women got hijabs on. They in war times. Those women got a hijab on. It's part of them. Subhanallah. Your children don't have it as a part of them because you didn't enforce it when they were children. Okay, so even with the prayer, with fasting, with the way we dress, we teach our children at the age of 7. We beat them and make them do it at 10. Oh yeah, whoop their behind. Make them pray. You didn't make your salat, either get in here and pray or I'm going to beat your behind. Old school. Okay? All right. So I think that was the last question because my granddaughter had me put that on. Good job. So now what we're going to do is speak about the times of the prayer and take notes. I want everybody to understand that Allah tells us in the Quran that every prayer has its own time at which it must be performed. And Allah has positioned those prayers the way he did with his hikmah, his wisdom, because we were created to worship him. We were put on this earth to prove to him that we believe in him. So Allah has fixed each prayer at a specific time because he wants us to stop what we're doing and remember him. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Prayer at fixed hours has been enjoined upon the believers. That's my dalil. Now, how many of you have been told that because you didn't make the prayer as soon as the adhan went off, you prayed it late? That is not true. That is not true. How many have you have been told that you have to, as soon as the adhan is playing, you have to jump up and stop what you're doing and pray? That ain't true either. The beginning of each prayer occurs with the adhan and it ends with the adhan of the next one. What does that mean? Except for Fajr. Well, let's just say that Dhuhr, the adhan for Dhuhr is pronounced at 1 o'clock. The adhan for Asr is pronounced at 3 o'clock. That means you can pray the Dhuhr prayer anytime between 1 and 3. If I'm cooking dinner, I do not have to stop my dinner cooking and go make salat because the adhan went off. I have any time between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. to make dhuhr. Does everybody understand that? That's the fixed hours. That's the fixed time. So because I prayed dhuhr at 2:35 does not mean I prayed it late. To pray it late means to pray it out of its time frame. Does everybody understand that? If Asr comes in at 3 and I didn't make dhuhr until 3 o'clock, now I prayed it late. But I have between 1 and before the adhan at 3 to pray it. I hope that's clear. And Allah gives us the different times of the prayers. For example, listen to what he says in the interpretation of the meaning. Pray the 2 end prayers of the day. Pray at the 2 ends of the day. And in some parts of the night, good deeds cancel out evil deeds. And this is a reminder for the mindful. Also in another verse in the Quran, Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, establish prayer at the setting of the sun until the dark of the night, and the recital of the Quran at dawn. Lo, the recital of the Quran at dawn is witnessed by the angels. This is another verse where he's telling you the time of the Maghrib prayer. Also in another verse, Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, celebrate the praises of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting. Glorify him some hours of the night and at the two ends of the day, so that you can find acceptance. So here you can see Allah has set those times. And these verses specifically are referring to the Fajr prayer and the Asr prayer. Okay? We have a hadith where one of the companions tells us that they were sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it was a moon. They looked at the moon, and it was a very clear night. And the Prophet said, you will see your Lord clearly, just as you see this moon, and you will not be harmed by looking at him. So if you can, do not allow yourselves to be overpowered regarding the prayer before the rising of the sun and its setting. Okay, so again, you know, each prayer has its fixed time. Allah is the one that fixed those times for us, because again, what is the purpose of us being here on this earth? What is the purpose of us being created? We were created to worship Allah. And how did we learn? One of the new shahadas asked me, Sister Laila, where did the way we pray come from? And I told him that was Edward. Edward, here's the hadith. The way that we pray was taught to us by the angel Jibreel. He taught the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam how to pray. And the way that we glorify and praise Allah is the way the angels do too. And I put this hadith here for Brother Edward and everyone to see. Let me move this PowerPoint. I'm gonna have to get over here and read it off this computer because it's small print. And this hadith is narrated by Ibn Abdullah. He said the angel Jibreel came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, stand up and pray. And then they prayed the noon prayer when the sun had passed its meridian. Then he came to him for the afternoon prayer and said, stand and pray. And they prayed the afternoon prayer while the length of a shadow of something similar to what was similar to the length of the object. These are the times. As you can see, this is Jibreel not only showing the Prophet how to pray, but teaching him how to recognize the times of the prayers too. Then he came at night and said, stand and pray. And they prayed the night prayer when the twilight had disappeared. Then he came at dawn and they prayed. And then the next day at noon, he came and said to the Prophet, stand and pray. And they prayed the noon prayer until the shadow could be seen. So again, this shows, again, and take a screenshot of this. I'm going to let this sit here for a minute so you brothers can screenshot it. This is the hadith. Let me give you the source too. There it is. There's the source. And as Imam Bukhari said, this is the most authentic hadith concerning the time of the prayers. But it came from many sources. But I'm going to let y'all copy that, screenshot that. You see that, Edward? Take a screenshot. Brother Omar, if you here, screenshot it. Because I don't know what type of people y'all dealing with. I think y'all confused with some Shiites about the prayer times. Dr. Dramali told me, guys, that the Shiites don't pray at the same times we do. The Fajr prayer and the Maghrib prayer. That's why during Ramadan, the Shiites will tell you to wait till the red disappears from the sky to break your fast. That's not true. When the red disappears, that's Isha. And that, for those of you who don't know, I keep telling y'all, those Adhan callers were created by Shiites too. That's why those Adhan callers be off. They don't pray at the same times we do. But this is the dalil that the angel Jibril came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and not only taught him how to pray, but taught him when to pray too, the times of the prayers. Y'all see that? Okay. So now let's break it down. And I'm going to use some pictures today to try to give you an idea as to how to recognize when it's time for each prayer. And then on the next class, I'm going to give you a quiz. I'm going to take a bunch of pictures of the sun in different positions and see how well you can recognize what time it is to pray. So let's look at the time for Dhuhr. Dhuhr is the midday prayer or the noon prayer. It begins when the sun passes its meridian, and it stays in until you can see your shadow. Of course, a lot of you don't know what is a meridian. Look at this picture here. When you look up at the sky and you can see the entire round circle of the sun, and it's white like that, that's Dhuhr. And I want you guys to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow or today, if you in Europe, at noontime, I want y'all to look up. When it's time for the Dhuhr prayer, look outside. The sun is going to look like this. It's going to be white in color. It's going to be high up in the sky, and you'll be able to see the whole circle of it. That's when you know it's time for Dhuhr. Y'all see that? Take a screenshot of that. And I want y'all to look for that tomorrow when it's time for Dhuhr. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that this is one of the hottest times of the day too. So if it's hot outside, you can delay praying the noon prayer until it gets cooler. Okay? So if it's too hot like it is now, it's terribly hot here. So if, people might want to delay praying it until it cools down some. Then this is permissible in Islam. Where's my evidence? It ain't based on no mathab. It's based on the Prophet. We have the hadith, whereas Anas tells us if it was extremely cold, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would pray early. If it was extremely hot, he would wait for it to cool down. So again, I don't need to hear what the four imams say. I don't care what the four imams got to say about how to pray. The Prophet Muhammad taught us everything we need to know. Okay? Also another hadith, Abu Dar, he says, we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a journey. And when the caller to prayer wanted to give the adhan, the Prophet said, wait for it to cool down some. And this happened 2 or 3 times until we saw the shadow of the hills. The shadow of the hills means it's close to Dhuhr. To Asr. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And that's when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the hottest part of the day comes from the hellfire. Allah allows the hellfire to take 2 breaths. So when you experience that extreme heat of the day, that's Allah allowing the hellfire to take its breath. Okay? And there's the source, Bukhari and Muslim. Y'all can screenshot all of these hadiths. Okay? Take a screenshot of this. All right. So that's how the sun is going to look for Dhuhr. It's going to be up in the sky. It'll be white in color like that. And you'll be able to see the entire ball of it or disc of it. That's Dhuhr. And it stays that way until Asr. Now, what's the time for Asr? The Asr prayer. This is the afternoon prayer. This prayer begins when you can see your shadow. When you can see your shadow. When your shadow is the same length as you. Look at this picture here. Y'all see this ball. The ball will also be yellow like this. Y'all see how the sun is yellow in this picture and how you can see the shadows of the trees? You can see the shadows. If I was outside standing, I'd be able to see my whole shadow. That's when you know it's time for Asr. The sun will be turning yellowish like that. It'll be to move down in the sky. It'll be a yellowish color like that. And you can see the shadows of the buildings, the shadows of yourself, your whole body shadow. Not half the body, the whole body. Not half the tree, but the whole tree. Like we see here. See this tree shadow, the whole tree. The whole tree. That's when you know it's time for Asr. And there will come the time when we won't have the internet anymore. When that war that's going on now against Islam makes its way to the West, because it will. It's in the East making its way to us. The war against Islam, when technology is gone, we won't have the internet. You ain't going to have that Adhan calling no more. You're going to have to look up at the sky and know when to pray. So remember, Asr is when the sun has yellow around it, is setting, and you can see your shadow. That's the time for Asr. And by the way, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if a person catches one rakat of the afternoon prayer before the sun sets, then you have caught the whole prayer. Because sometimes, depending on what part of the world you are, Asr doesn't last long. Okay? So say, for example, I'm trying to pray Asr before my Maghrib come in. As long as I get that first rakat in, and we're going to talk about that in another class, when I start teaching you how to pray, to do the positions. If I can get that Fatiha all the way to that prostration in, then I've caught the rakat. I didn't make it late. I got the reward for praying on time. Okay, that's important. And again, the most preferred time to pray the Asr prayer is when the sun becomes yellowish like this. Y'all see this yellow look? It's yellow, and you can see those shadows. That's the most preferred time. Okay? Some people also say that it's disliked because, if you wait this long, you a hop, skip, and a jump from Maghrib. But the bottom line is you can still pray it when it's like this. Don't think that you missed the Asr prayer because you see your shadow and the sun is yellow. That's the most preferred time to pray, according to the majority. And there's my source. Take a screenshot. I want you brothers to screenshot these hadiths. This is the group except for Bukhari and Ibn Majah. That means it's authentic. It's still authentic. Okay? Now, if it's cloudy outside, like it was today here from where I live, then you should try to pray the Asr prayer as early as possible because you're not going to be able to see this yellow. And that's, based on this hadith, where one of the companions said, we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during a battle, and he said, hurry to pray on this cloudy day because the one who misses the afternoon prayer has destroyed all of his good deeds. So if it's raining outside or cloudy like this, make it early. Don't delay the Asr prayer to this point. Don't delay it to the yellow. Don't wait to the yellow, because the yellow means it's one step from turning orange. The yellow here means it's almost my grip, because there's some orange at the bottom. Y'all look at the earth here. Y'all see the orange on the ground? The orange on the ground lets you know that you're close to my grip. Okay? You can pray this way, but try not to if it's cloudy. And now we're going to speak about, oh, wait, first of all, I did put this in here. Let me explain why I put this in here. Thanks for this coffee, Norto. I am wide awake now. May Allah bless my babies. Oh, Allah, I feel so much better. I needed this. Okay. One of the brothers asked me the other day when I was reciting that verse of the Quran to you from my class on the Meqqasidic tafsir. And I told you that Allah was referring to the Asr prayer. Here's my dalil. When Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, observe and guard your prayers, especially the midmost prayer. Some people say the midmost prayer means Fajr. Some people say the midmost prayer. No, Allah is speaking about the Asr prayer. And that's what I told you guys. One of the brothers sent me an email trying to call Layla out. Don't call Layla out. I keep telling y'all I'm old enough to be your grandmom. And I know my deen a little bit better than you because I've been living it longer. Okay, listen to this hadith. It's narrated by Ali. May Allah be pleased with him. He said that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told them on the day of the battle against the clans. He said, may Allah fill the graves and houses with fire, as these people prevented us from performing the midmost prayer until the sun has set. And what's my source? I tell y'all, I deal with Bukhari and Muslim. That's why I stick to Bukhari and Muslim, because I got to cover myself. Because I know there's a lot of sick people on this internet, Ruway Bida, who want to try to throw salt in your program. And I don't speak without knowing what I'm talking about. If I can't back it up, maybe that's because I'm a paralegal too. Yeah, legal field teaches you that. Also, ex-union rap teaches you that too. You got to cover yourself. All right? So, when Allah is talking about the midmost prayer, he's talking about the Asr prayer. And there's the dalil. Also, Ibn Masud, I told you guys, whenever there's something in Islam that's not clear, we're supposed to look to see how the companions understood it. I'm not going to tell you what Imam Malik said the midmost prayer is. I don't care what Imam Hanafi said about the midmost prayer. Ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, who was one of the original companions. He said the idol worshippers kept the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from the afternoon prayer, from praying it within its time frame. The sun had become red and yellow. Red meaning it's time for my grip. And that's when the Prophet said they kept us preoccupied from the midmost prayer. So here's my dalil. The midmost prayer is Asr. And then also, guys, there's also, as Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, explained, you know, Asr is so important. Why? Because that's when we are at our busiest time during the day. That's when we're at our busiest time. It's so easy to become preoccupied with our job or with cooking or with picking up the kids from school that we can miss Asr. So Asr is the midmost prayer. And there's your dalil. Look at the sources of both of these hadiths. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim too. You brothers have to stop trying to challenge me and just come here to learn. If you come in here to learn, learn. Sit back, take a screenshot and learn. Don't come here thinking that I'm one of those fake women, like y'all see in England on YouTube, pretending to be scholars, showing you how to do a hijab tutorial or how to put on makeup. I ain't one of those women. I'm a grandmama, a great grandmother, number one. Number two, I'm all about the deen. I've been teaching Islam since I was 12 years old. So don't call me out, bro. Come here to learn or bounce. You don't want to learn? Keep it moving. The internet is spacious. Go learn somewhere else. All right? Don't upset Layla. Layla got anxiety. She's an old woman with anxiety. Oh, yeah. My grandsons, they kind of protective of me now, you know. So be careful. All right. So now let's look at the sunset prayer. Look at this picture here, guys. This is Maghrib. This is how it looks outside at Maghrib. Maghrib is an Arabic word. What does it mean? It means sunset. Maghrib does not mean night. Isha means nighttime. The night does not come until Isha, guys. You hear, how many of you have heard Muslims say that the night begins at Maghrib? This is not true. Maghrib doesn't even mean night. The night begins at Isha. Maghrib is sunset. It ain't nighttime yet. This is the sun setting. And this is how it looks. It's one of the easiest prayers to recognize because the sky becomes orange. The yellow is at the top, letting you know that Asr is gone. The orange is at the bottom, letting you know that Maghrib has begun. And so the time for Maghrib begins with the disappearance of the sun, and it will last until that red, that orange disappears. This is not nighttime. I hear a lot of Arabic brothers say that. Where's my DNA cousins? Brother Muhammad El Sadat from Egypt, El Sadat. This is Layla El Sadat. Brother Muhammad El Sadat, my DNA cousin, who I never met, but speaks Arabic and is Islamic studies teacher in, are you in the Emirates? He's in the Emirates, but he's from Egypt. Are you one of those Egyptians that's going around saying that the nighttime begins at Maghrib? Type in English. He said, no, cuz you're right. It's Maghrib is not night. Night is Isha. Good job. He said, good job. Good job. Work on your Arabic. That's all I hear from my DNA cousins. Work on my Arabic. I'll bring brother Isa, my brother Isa over there. He speaks Fusha. But anyway, let's look at the time. But how many of you have heard Arabs tell y'all that, though? Seriously. Yeah, that's true. What Fast type in here, she's right. What Fast said they think that Maghrib is night. It's not night. The night does not begin with Maghrib, guys. It begins at Isha. Okay, this is sunset. We have a hadith whereas Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, may Allah be pleased with him, he tells us that a man asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the times of prayer. And he told him that he ordered the sunset prayer to be when the sun has set. And on the next day, he prayed it when the red twilight was ending. And he said, no, that's wrong. The time for the sunset prayer is between those two times. So the Maghrib prayer is before the night. It's when you see this in the sky. Y'all understand that? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, my ummah, my nation will always be along the natural path as long as they pray the sunset prayer before the stars appear. How many of people make Maghrib too late? There's a lot of Muslims that don't pray Maghrib on time. They wait till Maghrib is over and they're praying it at Isha. For example, the Shiites. The Shiites got a whole different time of praying. Maybe that's why we're messed up as a nation today. We don't stand ankle to ankle, shoulder to shoulder. We're not praying our salats on time. We're not praying them at the mosque. We've replaced the mosque with the Times Square street. That's why we're not together. That's why we're not on the straight path no more. Okay, but this is Maghrib. And another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, pray the sunset prayer when the fasting person breaks his fast and when the stars are about to appear. That's how we also know when it's time to break fast too. We break fast at Maghrib. Another hadith, one of the companions said, we prayed the sunset prayer with the Prophet and one of us would leave and would still be able to see where he shot his arrow. In other words, it's telling you it's before the nighttime. All these hadiths are proofs that the Maghrib prayers before the nighttime. The night begins at Isha, not Maghrib. The night begins at Isha. Isha is an Arabic word. Sister, we're fast typing here. A lot of stuff. She said Isha is the Fusha for night. She said that's what Isha means. Isha means night in Fusha, than the original Arabic. This is the night prayer. Okay. This prayer begins when the red disappears. So what does that mean? That means when you look outside and you see nothing but the dark, you don't see any more red. The red and orange is gone from the sky. And by the way, take notes. The Isha prayer does not, I repeat, it does not, I repeat, it does not end until Fajr. You got a lot of these imams here in America telling you that you have to pray Isha before 12 o'clock. Where's their dalil? Is that from a madhab or is that from the Prophet? Because I'm getting ready to knock those brothers off their thrones right now. Number one, the Prophet ﷺ said, if it were not a hardship upon my nation, I would order them to delay praying the night prayer until a third or a half of the night has passed. The third of the night is right before Fajr, guys. Half the night is the middle of the night. So where do these brothers get this notion telling you that you got to be praying Isha before 12? That's not from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, nor is that from the example of his companions. We have another hadith by Abu Sa'id, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, once we waited for the Prophet to lead the night prayer until half the night had passed by. And then he came and prayed with us. He said, stay in your places of sitting while the people have gone to their places of lying down, for you are in prayer as long as you are waiting for it. If it were not a weakness for the people and an illness for the sick, I would delay the time of this prayer to half of the night. So you do not have until 12 o'clock to pray Isha. You have until Fajr, until the Adhan for Fajr. And there's the authenticity of that hadith. Okay? Also, we have this authentic hadith, Sahih Muslim. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, there is no negligence in sleeping, but the negligence lies in not praying a prayer until the time of the next. So That hadith is telling us every prayer ends at the beginning of the next prayer except for Fajr. Fajr ends at sunrise. All other prayers end when the adhan is called for the next. Have I made this clear? I want all you brothers to take a screenshot of all these authenticated hadiths, because I don't want anyone sending me an email or lying on Layla, saying that Layla said that you got to that you can pray after 12. Yes, you can pray after 12. And here's my dalil: when you say it, you better bring the evidence, like I got here. Be careful who y'all think a scholar is, because a scholar of this religion knows when to pray. A scholar of this religion knows how to pray. How can somebody be considered a scholar when he doesn't even know that Isha ends at Fajr? That the prophet used to delay Isha prayer till the last third of the night sometimes. The last third of the night is right before Fajr. The night consists of different times. The beginning, Qiyam el-Layl, is that middle of the night. Tahajjud, it's the ending, the last third of the night. My God, how y'all got to stop using that term scholar so much. A lot of these imams are just hood imams. They're not scholars. They're hood imams. They're just brothers that lead you into prayer. They ain't nobody scholar. They might be your scholar. Ain't nobody else's. Y'all took a screenshot. You got it, Omar? Okay. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop for today. Oh, I'm going to do Fajr tomorrow. I mean, the next time we meet. Because with Fajr, I'm going to give y'all some more information to go with it and a quiz. I want to throw these pictures up on the screen. I don't want you to confuse the Fajr prayer with the Maghrib prayer, because when I start my next class with you guys, I'm going to have pictures of the sun in different types of positions of the sky, so you guys can tell me if it's Maghrib or the other prayers. So that's where I'm going to stop for today. And again, Islam is not just a religion. It's a culture. It's our way of life. And our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not forget to teach us anything. He taught us how to pray from A to Z. He taught us how to fast. He taught us how to dress, how to bathe, how to eat, how to walk, how to clean ourselves. This religion is so easy. It's just that we have to learn it from the proper people. We have to be very, very careful who we take our knowledge of Islam from. We cannot be fooled by the soft-speaking Ruwaybida. We cannot say, oh, because he's a brother, he must know the deen better than her. She's just a loud woman. I'm supposed to be a loud woman. The fact that I'm a loud woman should tell you that you need to listen to me, because most women ain't loud today, and Allah commands us to be loud. The fact that I'm the only one that you know that is loud should tell you that's who you should be learning from, because I'm following what Allah said. My voice is loud. My voice is intimidating. It's firm. Okay? All right. Any questions or comments? Where Fast said y'all should see her voice, hear her voice. So she's loud too. She said all women that know their religion loud, we gotta be. That's right. People try to walk over you. Respect, you got to demand it nowadays. Especially if you're an old lady, you got to demand your respect nowadays. Okay. Okay, are we clear in the Zoom room? The new shahadas. Sister Miss Jackson, is it okay? Let's see. Let me see what Miss Jackson. Oh, hold on. Different mic. Okay. She said, the hadith about the midmost prayer is an example of tafsir. Exactly. Good job. Y'all see how she did that? MashaAllah. Exactly. That's an example of tafsir el-matur. El-matur. The hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, interpreting, explaining, clarifying the meaning of that verse. Exactly. All of these hadiths I gave y'all today are all examples of tafsir el-matur. I wish Kareem Abu Zaid, I hope Kareem Abu Zaid hears that. See how your book is helping, Kareem? I told you. Exactly. All of these hadiths are examples of tafsir el-matur, because all the verses I gave you where Allah tells us the time of the prayer, the interpretation of the meaning, the clarification of the meaning, the explanation of the meaning is given from all those hadiths from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the Prophet himself. Good job, Miss Jackson. So proud of you. That's tafsir el-matur. Exactly. All right. Any other questions or comments? There's nothing from the Zoom room? Yeah, they awful quiet in there. Sister Aya, where's Ifti at? Sister Aya, where's Ifti?
She has her daughter visiting from New York, so she's busy with her grandkids.
Oh, she got the kids. Oh, okay.
Yeah, her house is full. Alhamdulillah.
Woo! And she's still helping with the baby and stuff too, huh? She.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, give my salams to her. Tell her we miss her here. Tell her to check out that WhatsApp. Tell her to look at WhatsApp and see how I had to check that sister today.
Inshallah, I will.
They tell her that sister had me upset. You see what she said? I don't care about my students. What kind of stuff is that? She ain't even no student of mine. All right. Yeah, any other comments? Brother Omar, did you get everything too? Yes. Yes. Yeah, what is today? The class will be held on this is Monday and Wednesday, right, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll be Monday. The next class will be Monday. Yes. And I'm going to go into more detail about the times of the prayer. Yes. Yeah, I'll go into more. I'm going to give you some more. And I'm going to, like I said, give you a quiz with those pictures. Thank you. May Allah bless you too, bro. Yeah, keep it real. All right, guys, if there's no other questions or comments, tomorrow is Thursday. Don't forget we have
Dr. McBride.
Oh, we have Dr. McBride tomorrow at 6. That means I don't need no PowerPoint for tomorrow either. And we have my class. What's my class tomorrow? The Macosidic. Macosidic. The Macosidic tafsirs tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, now let me look and see. I don't know what pages, y'all. Anybody know? Let me look and see what pages I did. Hold on for a second.
I think we stopped on 33 or 34.
We stopped on 33, 30. So it's going to probably be, wait, let me look. Because I think I've been, I'm trying to keep it. Yeah, I know. Brother. That's why I'm making it like I am. You see, I try to break it down for you. He said he's having a hard time understanding the book. That's why you have to come to the classes. Yeah, the book is not easy to read. To understand. You have to come to all my classes so I can explain it to you, okay? I'll try to keep it simple. Yeah, let me tell you what I'm going to go over so you can look at it. I'll post it up tonight too, but because I'm awake now that I had that coffee from my student. Woo! She sent me 3. I got 3 coffees, man. Layla going to be up. But I'll tell you, I'm going to look at the pages now. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, hold on. You said 34, right, Mina? Let me look at 34.
Yeah, we stopped on 33.
Okay, we're 33. Okay, we stopped on 33. Let me go up on my other computer. You know, I got 5 or 6 computers sitting here, bro. Give me a minute. Oh, this one don't, I can't scroll with my finger on that one. Oh, this one I can, but not that one. Wait, I got to use the mouse. 34. Where? Oh. Okay. Yes, tomorrow's class is going to be a biggie. I see what the brother is saying. He said he's confused. He read this part over. The criteria of acceptance of opinion. I'm going to break it down. In fact, I'll work on that PowerPoint tonight for you. Oh, for everybody. But let's do pages 30. Oh, this computer, I can't use my finger. 34 through. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, bro. Yeah, this can be confusing, but I'm going to 34 through 30. We'll stop at 36. So basically, we're going to go over 34 and do I want to do that? 34 and 35. Yeah, I'll make it slow. So we'll do pages 34 through and stop at 36. So I can break down what the opinion tafsir, because that's what that part is. He's going into he's going to now speak about the difference between those tafsirs that are opinion based as opposed to the ones we've talked about that are evidence based. Yeah, so and that can get confusing. So 34 and 35, we'll stop at 36. All right. Yeah. Yes, and I'll give you a quiz for that class too. I'll start it off with a quiz. Miss Jackson, I'm going to start that class off with a quiz too. I know it's a lot of information for y'all. You want to know the book? Okay, for those of you who don't have the book, do I have a banner for it on this one? I'm using a different streaming program. Hold on, let me see if tonight I need to figure out how to use this. The Metcalcitic Tafsir. You can go to Amazon.com. I thought I had a little thing for it. This one. Let me show this just so I can show you. You see how that looks? Can they hear me on there? I don't even know if they can still hear. Did you see how it looks? That's it. That's the one, the volume 1. Yeah, go to Amazon.com, type Kareem Abu Zaid's name and Metcalcitic Tafsir volume 1. We're doing volume 1 right now. It's $19.99. There, that's the one. If it's $19.99, that's the one. It should be a part of everybody's library. You will not be disappointed. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to log out for right now. Inshallah, I'll put the videos out and I'll also put the schedule out and all that. Subhanakallahumma. I want y'all to look at those prayers tomorrow. At Dhuhr, look at the sun. Asr, Maghrib, Isha, look at the sun at those times so y'all can see how it looks. Recognize the shadow and how when the shadow disappears, that's when it's time for Maghrib. All right. Okay. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.